During the Second World War, Britain built weapons it never intended to recover. Not because they were ineffective, not because they were experimental failures, but because their very existence was meant to disappear. Among Britain's most unusual wartime creations was a weapon designed for one purpose only: to be used once and then abandoned. This was the Liberator pistol. It was crude, it was inaccurate, and it was deliberately disposable. So why would Britain invest time, resources, and secrecy into a weapon designed to be thrown away? The answer reveals a much deeper truth about how Britain expected the war to unfold. After the evacuation at Dunkirk, Britain faced a terrifying reality. Large parts of Europe were occupied. Resistance movements were weak, fragmented, and poorly armed. And a German invasion of Britain itself seemed possible. Traditional weapons manufacturing could not keep pace with demand. Supplying resistance groups with rifles or submachine guns was slow, dangerous, and highly visible. Britain needed something different. Not a battlefield weapon, not a soldier's gun, but a psychological weapon. The Liberator pistol was never designed to win firefights. Its purpose was simpler and more disturbing. It was meant to give an unarmed civilian one chance. One chance to overpower an occupying soldier. One chance to steal a better weapon. One chance to change the balance of fear. The pistol was smoothbore, inaccurate beyond a few feet, and held only a single round. Reloading was slow and impractical under pressure. But that didn't matter. The weapon wasn't meant to survive. The person using it might not either. On paper, the Liberator was deeply flawed. It lacked reliability. It offered no sustained firepower, and it placed enormous risk on the user. So why approve it? Because Britain wasn't planning for fair combat, it was planning for chaos. The Liberator was designed to be cheap to manufacture, easy to conceal, simple to use, without training. Most importantly, it was designed to be produced in massive numbers. Britain believed quantity could achieve what quality could not. The true power of the Liberator was not mechanical. It was psychological. The idea that any civilian could be armed, even briefly, forced occupying forces to remain constantly alert. Every alley became a risk. Every civilian became a question. This uncertainty was the weapon. Even if most Liberators were never fired, their potential mattered more than their performance. After use, the Liberator was meant to be discarded. Thrown into rivers, buried, destroyed. It had no serial numbers, no national markings. If discovered, it was meant to reveal nothing. This wasn't accidental. Britain wanted plausible deniability. If resistance actions were traced back to weapons like this, governments could deny direct involvement. The weapon existed in a gray zone between war and deniability. In practice, many Liberator pistols were never used. Some resistance fighters distrusted them. Others found them too dangerous. Many were simply hidden away. And yet, Britain continued to produce them. Because the weapon wasn't designed for success in the traditional sense. It was designed to change behavior, to make occupation feel unstable, to make control feel temporary. After the war, the Liberator quietly vanished from popular history. It didn't fit the narrative of heroism or technological excellence. It raised uncomfortable questions about how far Britain was willing to go. It reminded people that Britain expected civilians to fight with almost nothing and accept the consequences. So the story faded. The weapon was boxed away in museums, often without explanation, not celebrated, not emphasized, just stored. The Liberator pistol reveals something critical about Britain's wartime mindset. Britain was willing to trade reliability for reach, trade safety for disruption, trade accountability for deniability. In Britain's eyes, was not only about winning battles, it was about making occupation unbearable. The Liberator pistol was not a good weapon. It was a revealing one. It shows us a Britain that expected desperation, a Britain that planned for civilian resistance, a Britain that accepted moral ambiguity as a strategic necessity. And it reminds us that some weapons were never meant to survive history, only to shape it. This is why Britain built a weapon designed to be thrown away. If you want to understand how wars are really fought, not just how they're remembered, subscribe to Hidden Weapons of History. Because the most important weapons are often the ones history tries to forget.